Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. In times of significant technology change, it's sometimes easy to forget about the real business drivers behind our SAP projects. Now, SAP Insider recently released a study that showed that some of the most important drivers that you are seeing today is in the areas of standardization, simplicity and harmonization, reduced TCO, and more flexible deployment models. Now, these are all nice goals, but the real question is, how do we get there? The answer lies in looking outside of traditional silos and keep focus on the business processes that make up the intelligent enterprise, such as lead to cash, source to pay, or design to operate. And really to drive a data-centric approach within these business processes. Now, McKinsey study shows that companies that has a data-driven approach are about 23 times as likely to acquire new clients and 6 times as likely to retain those customers, and about 19 times as likely to be profitable. So, the main questions for us are, how do we now build such a data-centric approach and strategy for your SAP landscape? Number 2, how do you design a dynamic multi-cloud approach for your mission-critical application landscapes? And number 3, which partner should you work with to accompany you on these transformational journeys? My name is Joachim Zetterblad. I am leading the SAP practice for Dell Technologies in EMEA. And to help me answer these questions, I have Mr. Gunther Manns, our global CTO for our SAP solutions at Dell Technologies. Now, Gunther and I chose this picture to introduce ourselves to you because we think it shows really what we believe is one of the fundamental cornerstones to how to address these challenges, namely to cover the full suite, from the edge, right there where you stand in Grand Canyon, via the core, right into the cloud, where I used to spend my time before I joined Dell Technologies. Now, Gunther, you represent one of the world market leaders and the biggest IT companies. Tell me a little bit about what do you see with your clients and what are the drivers that you are seeing with your customers today?
Thank you, Joachim, for your introduction. And thank you for these great questions. Also, welcome from my side. From our perspective, from Dell Technologies, we got a lot of feedback from our customers over the last few years. And the main point, what we identify is really how customers could minimize their costs. But if we look to minimize the costs, it's really not a question about only minimizing the SAP landscapes. We know, and we learned it, that customers are having up to 70% of non-SAP systems. This means also for SAP that we have to look in which way customers will be able to optimize their processes in the data center, but also on the application layer. And in parallel, if you come to this point to optimize the data center, the workload from a customer perspective, it's also very important to understand how flexible a customer will be to get the best out of this modernization of the data center. We learned it, we saw it, and we can say that we have the best flexible products for SAP and for non-SAP landscapes available. Here are some use cases, what we realized in the last few years with customers from us. Very important and very new, for example, is in the left upper corner, our customer Gerolsteiner, a water bottle company out of Germany. We supported them on their way to the intelligent enterprise because they had to integrate up to 500 different edge sensors. And together with SUSE, we developed a strategy in which ways they was able using gateways from Dell, but also hardware for the data center. In parallel, also very important for customers, is how they can move from a traditional IBM power landscape to a more future-oriented landscape. and that's Andres and Hauser, also out of Germany. Andres and Hauser took the decision, moving away from their own traditional IBM power landscape to Dell Technologies. And we moved all the complete landscape, S4 HANA and also BW for HANA, to Dell Technologies. I think this is giving a good overview where we are and what customers really expect. And we come back to the point, they want to minimize the costs by a more flexible data center.
Yeah, those are great points, Gunther. Now, I'd obviously be interested in knowing, when building a data-centric approach, what is Dell Technologies' strategy here? And how do you help customers to embark on a journey to a more data-centric approach?
Yeah, that's also really, really good, I have to say. You can see, I would say that's a typical slide from SAP on the upper side, edge to core to cloud. It's really the point how customers from SAP are able to integrate the IoT side, the machine learning side, into the data center on the core side. And if we come to the point with the cloud, we have to think about in which way customers will be able, using additional functionality from S4 HANA in the cloud with the existing on-prem data center. For this, we offer gateways for the edge side. We will pre-install it. We deliver it to a customer with SAP Edge services on top. This gives the customers a chance to integrate very fast and easily the edge side back to the core side. Also, if we think about machine learning, also here we have different available products together with Red Hat, with SUSE, where we can integrate easily in the data center to get customers more experience with AI, with machine learning. If you look to the right side with the cloud, we have to use an infrastructure who's giving the customer flexibility. This means hyper-converged. For this, we certified with SAP different products on our side. And all together gives the customers a flexibility back and is taking cost saving on the customer side. Additionally, you can see the cloud on the right side. We also have the tools in place to give customer secureness on backup, on replication, on disaster recovery, so that everything will be able to restore in time for cloud and also for the on-prem side.
Really interesting, Gunther. Thank you. So you've mentioned the word cloud a number of times, and obviously in recent years, we've been hearing a lot of discussions around the cloud as the target for many of our mission-critical workloads. However, what we've also seen is that recent research clearly shows that customers prefer a hybrid or multi-cloud approach, and they do so for good reasons. Because we know that a majority of clients have realized that the cost of running SAP in a private cloud is significantly lower than in a public cloud option. We also know that concerns and issues around latency and performance is keeping customers on-premise, as well as the traditional rules, regulations, and compliance. Now, what's also interesting is that customers really appreciate the consistency when building out these hybrid, dynamic, multi-cloud scenarios. So I'd be interested in knowing, Gunther, when Dell goes about building these dynamic multi-cloud solutions for your customers, how do you do it? What components do you use? And what are the uniqueness about your strategy there, please?
I have really to say that in the last few months, Dell Technologies realized that we really have to invest in this hybrid cloud model. It's not a one cloud strategy for customers. It's really how they can integrate the on-prem, the private cloud together with the public cloud. And if you look and come back shortly to this slide, it's really a discussion about consistency on the infrastructure side, but also on the operational side. And with our new cloud model, we are able to support the customer on this way. Means from an infrastructure perspective, we have on the left side our hyper-converged stack with the VxRail running together with VMware. But we also can take additional automation to this environment. Means we develop additional tools on VMware that we will be able to support customers on the easy administration and operational side. If we come now to the layer on top where we have the applications from SAP, but also non-SAP applications, then we need an integration platform. And Dell Technologies is able to announce that we have, with our own offering, Boomi, now the possible way to integrate the public cloud from SAP with all the different hyperscalers, AWS, Microsoft Azure, and name it as you want, but also the other existing ones as a service providers, like for the edge side. So Boomi is offering different standard interfaces to connect to these different platforms, takes the data back to the SAP side, where the customer is now able to develop new models and new analyze on top. To give you a more detailed overview, I have a short video about our new Dell Technologies Apex model.
What if a single click could turn an industry-leading tech portfolio into a service? What if that one quick finger click could turn everything into a service? And with that single click, transform everything about the way you work today into a more powerful tomorrow. What if?
I think you saw the big benefits of this new Apex strategy from Dell Technologies. Giving you a little bit more of details about the upcoming product, it's really the main technology what we develop now, named a Dell Technologies Cloud console. This is giving you a big benefit because, as you can see on the Discover side in the right upper corner, we will have an own marketplace to give you pre-installed and pre-configured virtual instances what a customer or a partner will be able to download and direct to use on their own site. We include here also SAP applications like S4, like BW, and name it. As you see on this slide, you will be able to configure, to onboard everything very seamless. You have a deployment option. It's much easier to manage your own private cloud, but also the public side of it, because we have the different connectors behind. It's much easier for you to optimize all the different used resources. And if we look into the future, it's also very important that you are able to grow and expand the complete environment, the services around on your site. And we have the tools for you. A very important point, especially if we look to the different cloud models available outside, we also will be able to offer in parallel to our Apex site a flex on demand pricing. We will be very flexible on your side that you are really able to manage to balance out the costs. You will be much more flexible on the pricing side because now you can take in your requirements from a business perspective. It's not only based that we say, hey, we have servers, we have storage, we have data protection. No, you really can think about in which way it makes more sense, perhaps on the consumption. We are flexible on the time of life of these contracts. On point 2, on the right side, you also can see a short example for our power storage. You can see it's a very good pricing behind. If you look overall, you see it's a very elastic pay, what you can get from this. We are happy to show this in personal meetings, in discussions with you, to give you really the best feeling and the best examples from Dell. But if you look to all the different infrastructure players, to the applications, it makes only sense if you also think about in which way you want to have the full service behind. And this means you have to use an application management on top. Yes, you can go outside, but why you should go outside? It makes no sense because Dell is offering the complete part. So Dell is also offering Virtustream services behind for AMS. Means you can manage your on-prem side, but also the cloud side behind. We have special tools, and these tools you only will get from Virtustream, Extreme. We are very flexible also here on the cost side. It will be much more efficient for you. Joachim, let us summarize. I think we showed our customers a lot of new details and in which way Dell is going and thinking for the future, supporting the customer in the best way for their own SAP applications, but also for the non-SAP applications in the data center.
Exactly, you're spot on there, Gunther. So the key points in this session is really around how to build a data-driven organization, which we showed by talking about Dell Technologies' ability to support you from the edge to the core, right into the cloud, to simplify, accelerate, and enable these digitization and data-driven projects. The second area was around building a dynamic multi-cloud environment, which we do with the help of our capabilities around Dell Tech Cloud. Gunther mentioned Apex as a cloud consumption model, which is what customers have proven over and over again is what they want to achieve and reach to. So the way we go about helping clients embark on this journey is always to begin by simplifying, modernizing, and consolidating the underlying IT infrastructure to enable that data-driven approach that McKinsey talks about. We do this by introducing our simplification and platform consolidation tools that helps you save the money that is needed for the transformational projects. In a second phase, we go about introducing that cloud operating model, which we heard from Gunther today, leveraging our unique capabilities around Dell Tech Cloud based on our VMware capabilities, Apex to give that complete new consumption model, and cloud options, both including off-prem and on-prem scenarios. And last but not least, as you go about modernizing your IT landscape, building in IoT, blockchain, and machine learning is Dell Technologies' strength with the breadth of our portfolio and our ability to deliver those digitization projects alongside with the other aspects of an SAP lifecycle project. So ladies and gentlemen, great honor to have you in our session today. Enjoy the rest of your TechEd, and we're looking forward to talking to you about building your data-driven strategy and multi-cloud approach. Thank you.
Thank you.